Hello everybody, today we're going over Packet Tracer Lab 4.7.2 and the title of this is Connect the Physical Layer. There are a couple of parts we want to make sure we complete on this lab. First of all, there are questions to be answered along the way. We'll go over those together. And then there is also the percentage completion that we want to get to 100% on. So go ahead and set up your lab so you can see the docked lab here and all of the parts to it, and we'll get going. Part of this lab is identify physical characteristics of internetworking devices, and we've got quite the setup here with a lot of different devices that we're going to identify. It's part one, step one, identify the management ports of a Cisco router. So we start off by clicking the East router, and the physical tab should be active. Here is the East router. I'm going to left click it, and you can see that the physical tab is active. Zoom in and expand the window to see the entire router. So let's click zoom in, and we'll expand the window a little so we can see the entire router. Which management ports are available? That is our first question. Okay, so we have management ports over here. We've got an auxiliary port, the aux port. Do you see that right there? A little tough to see. And then we've got a console port. Those are our two management ports. Part C, which LAN and WAN interfaces are available on the East router and how many are there? There are two WAN interfaces and two gigabit Ethernet interfaces. So if you look at them here, so we have two WAN interfaces right here and two gigabit Ethernet interfaces right here. Part D, click the CLI tab, press the Enter key to access the user mode prompt and enter the following commands. So the CLI tab, I'm going to click the top button here so this doesn't disappear again on me. And we want to just move down here, hit enter, and we're going to type show IP interface brief and hit enter. The output verifies the correct number of interfaces and their designation. The VLAN 1 interface is a virtual interface that only exists in software. How many physical interfaces are listed? Well, let's take a look at them here. We've got two gigabit Ethernet ones, and we've got two serial interfaces. So that's 4 altogether. All right, let's continue on. Enter the following commands. So moving down here back to my prompt, I want to type show interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0 and hit enter. What is the default bandwidth of this device? So we're going to look through this information and we're going to see the default bandwidth. So here's where I typed that command right there. It can get a little confusing. And then the bandwidth is right here. See where it says BW 100,000, 1 million kilobits. All right. Now we want to type this in. We still have a more, so hit the space bar to get the rest of it. Now we want to type show interface serial 000. We want to get some details about that serial interface. What is the default bandwidth of this interface? Okay, so here is my command. This is where the information starts. And here is the bandwidth, 1,544. All right, move on. So now we want to identify module expansion slots. How many expansion slots are available to add additional modules to the East router? So let's take a look at that. We're going to minimize this screen. Actually, I want to go to physical again. And the expansion slots are, how many are available? Well, we can see that we've got just one here that is available. When you look at the back of a router, you'll see spots where you can put extra accessories, and they usually have a metal plate over them until you unscrew it and install something. So this has room for one more thing. How many slots are available is, okay, so for East router, there is one. And then it says click switch to. How many expansion slots are available in switch 2? Switch 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to count this one too. 5. There are 5 slots available on switch 2 where we could install extra ports if we wanted to. All right, let's move on to part 2. Select correct modules for connectivity. So step 1, determine which modules provide the required connectivity. Click East and then click the Physical tab. East, we're on the Physical tab. I'm going to click this top button again, keep it up there. On the left, beneath the modules label, so over here, beneath the modules label, you see the available options to expand the capabilities of the router. Click each module, a picture and description display at the bottom. So take a look at this. Let's click this one, and you get this information down here. It explains to you what it does, and there's a picture of it. Let's click the next one. It's a Cisco 2-port serial high-speed WAN interface card. It provides 2 serial ports. Let's click the next one. This is for 4 switching ports. These are different accessories that you can get. Provides up to 8 asynchronous EIA 232 connections. The cover plate, you can just get a metal cover plate. And here is gigabit Ethernet ports. So those are the different things that are available. Now in part 1, you need to connect PCs 1, 2, and 3 to the East router, but you do not have the necessary funds to purchase a new switch. Which module can you use to connect the 3 PCs to the East router? And the answer is, now I want you to take a look at this one. Wait, this one. HWIC 4ESW. It's got 4 switching ports. So that's going to be the one that we want to have installed. And then the next question, how many hosts can you connect to the router using this module? And the answer is 4 because there are 4 ports. Now we're to click on switch 2. Which module can you insert to provide a gigabit optical connection to switch 3? Well, we'd have to go ahead and click through each of these until we get to one that says something about a gigabit optical connection. And as you read through each of these, you can take a look at all of them. I'll give you a little hint. It's the second one from the bottom here. Let's take a look at that one. It says it provides gigabit Ethernet optical connectivity for access routers. That's what we want. Now step 2, we want to add the correct modules and power up the devices. Click East and attempt to insert the appropriate module from step 1A. Okay, let's try this. We're going to click East and we want to put in that 4. We want to take this and we want to put it into this slot. Let's see what happens. It says, cannot add a module when the power is on. Okay, so these are set up to be as close to reality as we can have them. So I want you to zoom in here on this device, and you can see this little green light here. We can't install things if that light is on. So click it to turn the power off. And now let's try grabbing this particular module and installing it, and now it gets installed okay. Using the same procedure, insert the module that you identified in step 1B into the empty slot farthest to the right in switch 2. Okay, so this one is all set up. Let's get out of this one and go to switch 2. And remember, we wanted that second one from the bottom. Let's power off first. So if you take a look at this, you can see the power is on. We're going to turn it off. And it was the second one from the bottom. We want to install it over there. And then we want to turn the power back on. I don't remember if I turned the power back on the other one. I better check that. Let's go back to East and turn the power back on. Okay. Now let's go to switch 2. We want to go to the command line interface, hit return to get started, and then we want to type show IP interface brief. And we want to see the slot in which the module was placed. So let's take a look at this. It looks like it was in Gigabit Ethernet 5.1. Okay, you can go ahead and minimize this window, and let's move on to part 3, connect devices. This may be the first activity you have done where you are required to connect devices. Although you may not know the purpose of the different cable types, use the table below and follow these guidelines to successfully connect all the devices. So we have to select the appropriate cable type, click the first device and the interface, then click the second device and the interface, and if those are correct, our score will increase. So we have a lot of things to get through on this table. Let's just go through them one at a time. We're starting off with this first one here. So on our East device, I want to start off by grabbing a copper straight through. So let's go down here and click our cables. We want a copper straight through. On the East router, I want to left click, and it wants to go into Gigabit Ethernet 00. So left click on that. And then we want to take it to switch 1, which is right here. Left click on that. And we want Gigabit Ethernet 01. And you'll see our score just increased to 7%. That's what we have to do for all of these. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is still on this same router. We want a copper straight through. So grab one of those. We want to go from Gigabit Ethernet 01 on East to switch 4 this time. Click on switch 4. And we want Gigabit Ethernet 01. So way down at the bottom. And our percentage went up to 15. Next one. A copper straight through again. We're on East, Fast Ethernet 010. We want to go to PC1, Fast Ethernet 0. I'm left clicking on all of this. We're at 23% now. Another copper straight through. We're still on East. This time, Fast Ethernet 011 to PC2, Fast Ethernet 0. We're up to 31%. Next one, copper straight through again. We're still on East, but we want Fast Ethernet 012. We want to go to PC3, Fast Ethernet 0. just increased to 39%. Now we want a copper straight through again, but we're on switch 1 this time. See that? Switch 1, left click, Fast Ethernet 0, 1. We want to go to PC4, Fast Ethernet 0. I just got to 47%. The next one, another copper straight through. On switch 1 again, Fast Ethernet 0, 2 to PC5, Fast Ethernet 0, 54%. The next one, a copper straight through again, switch 1, Fast Ethernet 0, 3 to PC6, Fast Ethernet 0, 62%. The next one, a different cable, a copper crossover. That's the black dashed line. We're on switch 4. So left click on switch 4. We want gigabit Ethernet 0, 2, way at the bottom. And we want to go to switch 3, gigabit Ethernet 3, 1. Score went up to 68%. Next one, we want a fiber cable this time. That's the orange one. So left click on that. We're on switch 3, gigabit Ethernet 5, 1. Gigabit Ethernet 5, 1. And then to switch 2, gigabit Ethernet 5, 1 again. We're at 76%. Next, a copper straight through on switch 2, Fast Ethernet 0, 1 to PC7, Fast Ethernet 0. I'm going to move this down a little bit. Next row, we've got a copper straight through again on switch 2, Fast Ethernet 1, 1 to PC8, Fast Ethernet 0. Next one, copper straight through again. We're on switch 2 again, Fast Ethernet 2, 1 to PC9, Fast Ethernet 0. We're at 88%. We need another copper straight through for the next one. On switch 2, we want to go to gigabit 3, 1, gigabit Ethernet 3, 1 to the access point, port 0. We're at 96%. And finally, we need a serial DCE. So let's go find that. That is this first red lightning bolt. So left click that. It says connect to east first. Be careful about this one. So we go from east serial 000 to west serial 000. And we got to 100%. All right, very good. In part 4, we're going to check for the connectivity and see how this whole network is shaping up and working. So in step 1, check the interface status on east. Click the CLI tab and enter the following commands. So let's go to east. Click the CLI tab. We'll find the bottom here somewhere and hit enter so we get the prompt. And we want to type show IP interface brief. And let's see how it compares to the output that we've got shown in the lab here. I'm especially looking for these yeses and the ups. If all of the cabling is correct, the outputs should match, and they do, so that's good. All right, in step 2, connect wireless devices, laptop, and tablet PC. The first part here, click the laptop and select the config tab. So we want config. Select the wireless 0 interface. Now, that means this right here. I know it says it here, it's a little confusing, but they want us to click this right here. Put a check in the box labeled on next to the port status. So here's port status. We want to check the on box. Within a few seconds, the wireless connection should appear. So let's move this out of the way a little bit. And you can see that there's now a wireless connection to the laptop. Click the desktop tab of the laptop. So we're on step B here. Oops. I'm going to click on the laptop again. Okay. I'm going to click top so that doesn't keep disappearing. Click on the web browser. And then we're going to enter that website they have listed there. www.cisco.pka and click go. And it should say Cisco Packet Tracer. Oh, there it is. Cisco Packet Tracer. All right, next thing, click the tablet PC. So let's X out of this. Click the tablet PC and select the config tab. Select the wireless 0 interface again from the left menu here. Put a checkbox in labeled the on for the port status. And let's see if we can catch it this time. We should be getting a wireless connection to the tablet PC. And there it is. So we've hooked up these wireless devices. And then it says repeat the steps in step 2B to verify the page displays. All right, let's go to desktop, web browser, and let's type in www.cisco.pka and hit go. And it got to the website, so it's working. All right, let's minimize that. And step 3, change the access method of the tablet PC. Click the tablet PC and select the config tab. Select the wireless 0 interface. I had already done it, so it's still there. Uncheck the box labeled on next to port status. It should now be clear and the wireless connection will drop. And you can see we don't have that dashed line that's showing there's a wireless connection there anymore. It's gone now. Click the 3G, 4G cell 1 interface. That's right here. Put a check in the box labeled on next to the port status. Within a few seconds, the cellular connection should appear. Did you see that? Now it's connecting to a cell tower instead of the wireless access point. We do that all the time on our phones, don't we? Repeat the process of verifying web access. So I'll let you do this on your own, but you could go back here and type it again and make sure that it's still accessing the internet. And then finally, step 4, check connectivity of the other PCs. All of the PCs should have connectivity to the website and each other. You will learn to use connectivity testing in many upcoming labs. Okay, I will let you do that on your own because I think we finished most of what we need to do for this lab. See you in the next one.